know he's got something to hide. That's the only reason it's not out there. If this had anything to do with Democrats, baby, it would have been on day one. That promise would have been fulfilled. But he wanted access to those files, and he wanted to see how bad it looked.
We don't hate you. We don't care enough about you to hate you. We just see that you're a fool. You make a fool out of yourself virtually every day. That's why we talk about you. We're laughing at you. We're making a mockery of you. You're making a mockery of yourself. It's not hatred.
Imagine this. You roll over in bed, grab your phone, and before your eyes are even fully open, the internet is on fire. Megyn Kelly just torched Jasmine Crockett, and it spread like wildfire. This wasn't just a clash. It was a demolition broadcast live for the world to see. The internet doesn't move slowly. It thrives on explosions, and Megyn delivered one of the biggest. Crockett thought she had the stage, but instead, she became the stage prop in Kelly's most effortless takedown yet. Everyone online was asking the same burning question. How in the world did this happen? One moment, Crockett was strutting in, with all the confidence of a Broadway actress, and the next, she was drowning in her own theatrics. Megyn Kelly has been in the ring too long to be rattled by noise. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't wave her arms. She just sat back, calm as stone, and dismantled Crockett with precision.
People to see him and understand who he is. This is a person that has a problem with people of color, period. I don't care how many black MAGA out there with their hats. I want to be clear when we look at who it is that he's kicking out of this country as people of color.
To distinguish between those two different emotions, because you're receiving one in droves, and it's not hatred. You can act, like you're Beyonce all you want. You're not. And just like her, you can play the victim when you're not. But you're going to have your hands full with people laughing at you because you behave so foolishly.
Crockett, meanwhile, stormed in like she was auditioning for a reality TV show. Her voice, her tone, her gestures, it was drama dialed to maximum, but with zero substance underneath. It looked less like politics and more like amateur night at a comedy club. And here's the kicker. She thought it was working. She believed the sass, the side eye, and the shouting were carrying the day. But Megyn Kelly was waiting, steady, sharpening her blade while Crockett kept handing her ammunition. At one point, Crockett tried to frame the entire moment as about race, declaring that Kelly had a problem with people of color. But Kelly didn't even flinch. She cut straight through the noise, reminding the audience that Crockett's reputation wasn't tanking because of her skin. It was sinking because of her behavior. That's what made the takedown sting so badly. Megyn wasn't trying to score cheap points. She simply revealed the truth, that Crockett's chaos was nothing more than a smokescreen.
Dying to ask you about Jasmine Crockett.
Oh boy.
She seems like a nightmare.
She's delightful.
What's that like to work against her?
So she serves on oversight committee with me, and she's on my Doge subcommittee.
Great.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of the funny things was we were having a committee hearing on oversight, and it was really late at night. And I was really irritated because I'm always like, why can't we work normal work hours like regular people, 8 to 5? I don't know what's wrong with Congress that we're always doing crazy things at 9, 10, 11, 2 a.m. under Nancy Pelosi. So we're on the oversight committee, and she is running off her mouth, and I shot at her about her massively huge fake eyelashes.
Yeah, this made news.
Yeah, and I was...
This reaction from resident twit Jasmine Crockett.
ICE, for the most part, is nothing but a ride. That's all they were supposed to do for the most part, right? It's like, you know what? This person is undocumented, or this person re-enters the country illegally, all the things, and then they have an ICE joke.
So ICE is really supposed to be no more than an Uber ride for these illegal. This is an elected representative to Congress, a Democrat from Texas.
Social media roasted Crockett relentlessly, turning her meltdown into meme material before she even left the stage. Crockett's dramatic energy, meant to make her look powerful, suddenly looked cartoonish. She was flailing, raising her voice, pulling faces that begged for attention, while Kelly remained motionless, slicing with words sharper than any dagger. And let's not pretend, Crockett wasn't predictable. She thrives on chaos. Every speech she gives feels like it was designed to go viral, even if it makes no sense. She talks in sound bites, throws around accusations, and lives for headlines, not substance. Megyn Kelly exposed that strategy for what it really was, a hollow performance. She didn't need to shout her down. She simply let Crockett's noise burn itself out, then calmly walked over the ashes. Crockett accused her opponents of racism, of cruelty, of hypocrisy, but Megyn had the receipts. She pointed to how respected black conservatives like Mia Love rose to prominence without attracting this kind of chaos. The problem wasn't color, it was Crockett herself. That truth landed harder than any insult could. It stripped Crockett of her shield, leaving her exposed, defenseless, and reeling.
A bitch behind the scenes, so much worse. You're not even beloved by your staff. Like, you alienate everyone. The people who know you best don't like you. The people who are just glancing at what you're putting out there publicly don't like you. So who likes you? It has nothing to do with your skin color either. There was a Republican star named Mia Love, who happened to be a black woman, who rose in the halls of power in Congress. Unfortunately, we lost her last year to cancer. But Mia Love didn't attract this kind of negative attention. So if it were just your skin color, that would have happened to her too. But it didn't. Why did it happen to you?
Suddenly, all her yelling sounded like excuses. By now, the crowd watching at home knew exactly what they were seeing. One woman was delivering clarity, while the other was delivering a tantrum. One was making sense, the other making noise. Crockett's attempts to dominate with attitude backfired spectacularly. Every time she rolled her eyes, Kelly's calm seemed more dignified. Every time she raised her voice, Kelly's composure became more powerful. And the memes, oh, the memes. The internet doesn't waste time. Within hours, Crockett's wild expressions were plastered everywhere, edited with laugh tracks and captions that made her look like a clown in her own circus. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly barely had to lift a finger. She didn't need to chase the memes, because the memes were doing her work for her. Kelly came off as the surgeon. Crockett came off as the blooper reel. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. Crockett threw sparks. Kelly made fire look irrelevant. Crockett wanted to trend, and she did, but not as the strong, bold fighter she imagined. She trended as the internet's new punchline, and that's the brutal irony.
Here is Jasmine Crockett on some terrible show involving the loser fired Don Lemon and somebody else. Here we go.
Baby, because these people, they are crazy. Because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things. Yeah, you ain't got to believe me. Just go Google. You'll find some of it. I'm telling you.
Crockett craves attention. She feeds off going viral. But this time, the spotlight didn't crown her. It crushed her. She was the show. But Megyn Kelly was the star. Right when Crockett thought she had her big moment, Megyn Kelly stepped in. And it was like watching a surgeon walk into a slapstick routine. The clash wasn't even fair. Crockett came armed with noise and drama, while Kelly arrived with clarity, composure, and razor-sharp wit. You know how some people try to win arguments by shouting the loudest? Megyn Kelly doesn't need to shout. She wins by making her opponent look like they never even understood the question in the first place. That's the kind of exposure Crockett walked straight into. The more Crockett leaned into her theatrics, the more foolish it looked. She spoke with the energy of a TikTok skit, rolling her eyes and flaring her hands, but there was nothing solid beneath it. Kelly sat steady, barely moving, dismantling her piece by piece. The audience didn't even have to pick sides. It was obvious who was running the show. One woman was playing for claps. The other was calmly rewriting the script in real time. The internet saw it, clipped it, and went wild. Memes flew faster than Crockett's hand gestures.
I've always observed about her is how she treats her staff. She treats her staff like they are just beneath her.
I read that in the New York Post. Can you confirm?
Yes.
Wow.
So she always has, one of her young male staffers has to carry her big, heavy handbag for her.
Right.
She just hands it off. It's like, who does that?
Right. Who are you, Beyonce?
Right. And then I remember one time on Oversight, she called one of her staff over and she whispered something in their ear and they ran off. And then they came back with this big, white, fluffy pillow that they put behind her back. And I'm going...
And some bonbons?
Crockett had tried to make it about everything but her own choices. She pointed to ICE, threw out wild accusations, and leaned on emotional theatrics. But Kelly calmly reminded everyone that theatrics don't win when the facts are stacked against you. The humiliation factor went off the charts. Crockett thought she was stepping into a spotlight. Instead, she walked into a buzzsaw. Her attempt to dominate the conversation backfired so spectacularly that even her own allies looked uneasy defending her. What made this worse was the behind-the-scenes talk. Stories leaked about how Crockett treats her own staff. Disrespectful, dismissive, like she was some kind of diva playing Beyoncé in Congress. Suddenly, the performance wasn't just embarrassing, it was believable. Kelly pointed out details that hit hard. Staffers carrying her oversized handbags, pillows being rushed over to make her comfortable in hearings. It was the image of entitlement, one Crockett couldn't shake. Every detail made the internet laugh harder. Crockett wanted to be seen as fierce. Instead, she looked pampered, arrogant, and unprepared. And Kelly didn't even have to exaggerate it. The truth was scandalous enough.
Be true, because your lawyer would know that they're going to lose it if they...
They're going to lose it. Okay? Okay. Thoughts, Link, on the reinvention of Jasmine Crockett?
We need a new drinking game and don't drink and drive, but every time Jasmine Crockett unveils a new accent, take a shot, okay? You will be blotto in about 5 minutes because she unveils new accents every 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. She unveils new accents all the time. And she wants us to forget that she used to speak like this very educated young woman. She used to speak like Eliza Doolittle.
Wait, we have it.
The rain.
Here.
Oh, yes.
Listen to her here. SOT 19.
In my mind, I'm thinking, I just got to Austin and I had to beat 5.
The more Crockett flailed, the calmer Kelly looked. It became a show in itself. Crockett spinning out, Kelly barely lifting a finger. It was the political equivalent of watching someone trip over their own shoelaces again and again. And that's why it resonated so much online. People love a takedown, but they love it even more when one person self-destructs and the other barely moves. Crockett made herself the punchline, and Kelly let the silence tell the story. By this point, Crockett wasn't just losing an argument, she was losing her image. The fiery persona she built melted away, revealing the chaos behind the curtain. She wanted to look bold, but the meltdown turned her into a blooper. And here's the twist. Crockett thrives on attention. She wants to trend. She wants the clicks. But this time, going viral didn't make her look powerful. It made her look ridiculous. Kelly didn't just expose her, she redefined her. From fiery fighter to meme queen. From bold debater to punchline. And once the internet gives you that role, it doesn't take it back. Crockett walked in thinking she could overwhelm Kelly with noise. Instead, she walked out as the headline nobody wants.
Why? Because you act like an utter fool. You want attention for all the wrong reasons. That's why, according to your staff, per the New York Post, you sit on your ass in your hotel room and you expect things to be done for you and brought to you, and you want a slave crew instead of hardworking people around you supporting you. That's never going to work. It's not going to work for you or anybody else in Congress. You've been outed. You can laugh about it, but this won't be the first. You haven't been in Congress very long, and if your staff's already turning on you, this will be the first, not the last. Good luck with that. It seems to me you've already peaked with your $35,000 a year high school education and your $75,000 a year college education, and now you want to act like an oppressed victim because of your skin color.
The politician who turned herself into a comedy reel while her opponent calmly watched. Crockett's problem was that she thought performance could replace substance. She strutted in with attitude, thinking hand gestures and sassy comebacks would carry her. But against Megyn Kelly, that kind of act crumbles instantly. Kelly has built her reputation on precision. She doesn't get rattled. She doesn't get pulled into shouting matches. She waits, listens, and then drops her words like daggers. Crockett gave her the perfect stage to prove it. The humiliation spread beyond the internet. Colleagues whispered, critics piled on, and her staff stories resurfaced, painting a picture of someone who demanded diva treatment without delivering results. It wasn't just one viral moment anymore. It was a pattern. Kelly's strength was in her calmness. She didn't try to be funny. She didn't try to be flashy. She let Crockett's chaos become its own worst enemy. That silence, that composure, became more devastating than any insult, and the internet rewarded it.
Here's the thing, though. If you have kids, you know the rule is the last thing you want to be is cringe, right? If you're going to do it, you got to do it well, and you're not supposed to be cringy. That was cringy. So was this by Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I think is 42 years old, not 28. Someone should have told her that before she dropped this video before the State of the Union or joint address to Congress last night. Watch.
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Must have on a beat, bro.
Kelly came out of the exchange looking stronger, sharper, untouchable. Crockett walked away, looking like the meme queen of political humiliation. The balance of power shifted in minutes. The worst part for Crockett, the internet doesn't forget. Once you've been turned into a punchline, that role sticks. Every exaggerated gesture, every meltdown, every viral clip will haunt her long after this moment fades. She thought she could dominate through theatrics, but theatrics without facts collapse under scrutiny. Kelly showed that clearly. She didn't just expose Crockett, she redefined her. What once looked like fiery boldness now looked frantic. What once passed for strength now looked like desperation. In one clash, the curtain was pulled back, and the audience saw the act for what it was. Kelly proved that being the calmest person in the room is sometimes the most powerful weapon. Crockett showed that being the loudest can be the fastest path to embarrassment.
Perfect. The Human Rights Campaign. These are the people who run around harassing every business to make sure that they're being pro-LGBTQ and pro-DEI and not doing anything that a Human Rights Campaign finds offensive in any way, shape, or form, unless if you are in a wheelchair and are the governor of Texas, in which case it is fine for Jasmine Crockett to do this to you. Watch.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
I got to check my woke rule book, Walter, but I'm not sure that, I don't think that's allowed. I do not think you refer to the guy who's in a wheelchair as the governor of your state as governor.
By the end, it wasn't a contest. It wasn't even a clash. It was a demolition, a highlight reel for Kelly, and a blooper reel for Crockett. Two reputations entered. Only one came out intact. Crockett will try to rebuild, but the stain is there. Every future headline will drag this moment back into the spotlight. Every time she tries to speak with authority, the internet will remember the memes. Kelly, on the other hand, walked away elevated. Her credibility skyrocketed, her audience grew, and she became the name associated with one of the most viral political takedowns of the year. Crockett wanted to trend. She did, but not as the fearless fighter she imagined. She trended as the politician who walked into a spotlight and accidentally turned it into her own execution. And that's the legacy of this clash. Megyn Kelly didn't just expose Jasmine Crockett, she turned her into a cautionary tale. Theatrics without substance don't survive. Crockett learned that the hard way, and the internet will never let her forget it.